The first thing I saw was her hands shaking on the steering wheel. Not from fear, from excitement. "You need to slow down," I said, watching the speed climb past 80. She didn't answer, just smiled like she'd already won something. That's when I noticed the photo on her lap. I shouldn't have noticed that. A woman, blonde, perfect posture, standing next to a man I recognized from the news. I'd seen his face before. Everyone had. "Why do you have that?" I asked. My twin sister, Leia, finally glanced at me. Same face, same eyes. But something in hers felt wrong. "Don't worry about it," she said. Calm. Too calm. Something felt off. The car engine roared as she pushed harder, her fingers tightening like she was holding on to a plan instead of a wheel. I reached over and grabbed her arm. "Ela, talk to me." She pulled away fast. I said, "I've got it handled." That's when everything changed because I knew that tone. I'd heard it once before years ago, right before she burned every bridge she had and walked away without looking back. I looked at the photo again. Then back at her, then at the road, and suddenly none of this felt random anymore. "I went there," she said quietly. My chest tightened. "Went where?" She exhaled slowly like she was about to confess something big. "I met her." The way she said it, it didn't sound like a meeting. It sounded like the beginning of something much worse. And I realized I wasn't in this car by accident. I didn't ask another question. Right away. With Leia, pushing too fast always made things worse. So, I stayed quiet, watched her, let her fill the silence. She always did. We talked for almost an hour, she said, eyes still locked on the road. She didn't suspect anything. I kept my voice steady. Why would she? A small laugh slipped out of her. Not warm, not normal. "Because I look like her," she said. I turned toward her slowly. "What?" She noticed it too. Yayla continued. Kept staring at me. Said it was creepy how similar we looked. Something tightened in my chest. I had heard that before. Growing up, people mixed us up all the time. But this felt different. "You tracked her down?" I asked. Yayla shrugged. "It wasn't hard. Rich people don't hide as well as they think." That didn't sit right with me. Leia had always been bold. But this wasn't bold. This was calculated. I kept it to myself. "What did you want from her?" I asked. She didn't answer right away. Instead, she reached over and tapped the photo on her lap. I wanted to see how close I could get. A cold feeling crept in. "How close?" I said. She smiled again, that same quiet, satisfied smile. "Close enough," she said, "that if I wanted to, I could step into her life and no one would question it." I stared at her, waiting for the joke. It didn't come. And that's when I realized she wasn't imagining something. She had already started planning it. I didn't react right away. That was the only way to handle Yayla when she got like this. If I pushed, she'd shut down or worse, double down. So, I kept my voice calm. "That's not how life works." She smirked. "You'd be surprised." I looked at her again. Really. Looked this time. Same face as mine, same voice, same small scar near her eyebrow, but something underneath felt off. "You said you met her," I said. "How did you even get that close?" Ela shrugged. "Charity event. Open guest list if you know how to blend in." That tracked. She was always good at slipping into places she didn't belong. "But why her?" I asked. She didn't answer right away. Instead, she slowed the car slightly like she was thinking through how much to tell me. "I've been watching her for weeks," she said finally. A chill ran through me. "Watching?" I repeated. "She's predictable," Leia said. "Same places, same routine, same people." That didn't sound like curiosity anymore. That sounded like a pattern. I shouldn't have noticed that. "You followed her?" I asked. "No," she said quickly, then added. Quieter. "Not exactly. I didn't like that answer." "Leia," I started. She cut me off. "Relax. I just needed to understand her." Understand her. That word sat wrong. Because Leia didn't study people unless she wanted something from them. I looked at the photo again, then back at her. And that's when a new thought hit me. What about the husband? I asked. She smiled. Not wide. Just enough. I met him too, she said. And suddenly, this wasn't just obsession anymore. I felt my stomach drop. You met him? I said, how? Leia didn't answer right away. Slowed the car again like she was settling into something she'd already decided. Is not hard to get close to, she said. Busy, distracted, used to people wanting something. That doesn't answer my question, she glanced at me. I introduced myself. Simple as that. No, it's not simple, I said. You don't just walk up to someone like that. I do, she replied. That calm confidence, it made my skin crawl. What did you tell him? I asked. She smiled faintly. The truth, just not all of it. I stayed quiet. Let her keep going. He thought it was funny. She said the resemblance. Said I could pass for her from a distance. My chest tightened. And up close? I asked. Leia didn't hesitate. He said it was unsettling. She replied, but he couldn't stop looking. Something snapped into place in my head. This wasn't random. This wasn't curiosity. This was access. What are you doing, Leia? I asked more firmly now. She exhaled slowly. I wanted to see how far it could go. How far what could go? She finally turned to me fully. For a second. Control, she said. The word hung in the air. Cold. Heavy. You don't mean that, I said. I do, she replied quietly. I shook my head. You're talking about real people, a real life. I know, she said. That's when I felt it. That shift, that line she had already crossed. Yayla, what did you plan to do tonight? She didn't answer. Just pressed the gas again. And I realized she hadn't been experimenting. She had already chosen an ending. I reached for the wheel. Slow down, I said, sharper this time. She didn't fight me. That's what scared me more. Instead, she eased off the gas just enough to keep control. I already stopped, she said quietly. The words didn't match the tension in her voice. Stopped what? I asked. She exhaled long and slow. The accident. My chest tightened. What accident? She didn't look at me this time. I had everything set, she said. Her route, the timing. A blind turn just outside the city. No cameras. I felt my stomach drop. You're not serious. I was, she said, until you showed up. The car felt smaller all of a sudden. What do you mean I showed up? I asked. She tapped the dashboard once. You called, kept calling. I almost ignored it. I remembered. I'd had a bad feeling and couldn't shake it. I turned around, she continued. That's when you got here. I stared at her. You were going to kill her. She didn't answer. That was answer enough. I swallowed hard, kept my voice steady. This isn't a movie, Leia. You don't just step into someone's life like that. She laughed under her breath. You think that's the hard part? I didn't respond because something in her tone told me the accident wasn't the whole plan. What were you going to do after? I asked. She finally looked at me. And this time, her expression didn't feel like hers at all. I already started, she said. And I realized stopping the crash might not have stopped anything. I kept my voice even. Started what? Hila reached into her bag and pulled out her phone. Watch, she said. She tapped the screen. And handed it to me. At first, it looked normal. Messages, photos, contacts. Then I saw the name at the top of one thread. Huh. The wife. My fingers tightened around the phone. This isn't real. It is, Leia said calmly. I scrolled. Short messages, casual, friendly, nothing strange at first. Then I noticed something I shouldn't have noticed. The tone. It felt familiar. Too familiar. You've been texting her like yeah, I said slowly. Leia nodded once, testing boundaries. My chest felt tight. How did you even get her number? She gave it to me, Leia replied. After we met, said we should stay in touch. That made it worse because now it wasn't forced. It was invited. I kept scrolling. Photos of places, screenshots of schedules, notes, everything mapped out. "This is stalking," I said. "No," Leia replied. "This is preparation." I shook my head. "For what?" She didn't answer directly. Instead, she took the phone back and opened another app. A profile. Same name as the wife. Same photos, but it wasn't hers. It was Leia's. "You made a duplicate account?" I asked. "Backup," she said. The word hit harder than anything else. Backup meant she expected something to go wrong. "What are you planning, Leia?" I asked. She locked the phone and leaned back. "I'm making sure," she said quietly, "that when I step in," she paused, "there's nothing left to question." And that's when I realized this wasn't just about replacing someone. She was erasing them first. I didn't argue anymore. Not out loud. Because by then, I knew talking wasn't going to stop her. So, I shifted. I watched. I listened. I let her think I was just trying to calm her down. Inside, I was already planning. "Okay," I said quietly. "Let's just get home." She glanced at me, suspicious for a second. Then, she nodded. That was enough. I pulled out my phone slowly and opened a blank message. Didn't send anything yet. Just kept it ready. "Yayla," I said softer now. "You don't need to do this." "I know," she replied. "That caught me off guard, you know." I said, "Yeah." She said, "But I'm still going to." That settled it. I typed quickly. Short, clear, just enough. Then I hit send to the one person Leia had underestimated. The wife. I used the number I just seen on Hila's phone. I didn't explain everything, just the truth. "Someone is impersonating you. You need to check your accounts and contact your husband immediately." I locked my phone and kept my face still. Leia didn't notice. Or maybe she did and chose not to say anything. We drove the rest of the way. In silence, but something had shifted. When we pulled into the driveway, there was already a car parked outside. Not ours. Yayla's hands tightened again on the wheel. "Did you invite someone?" she asked. I shook my head. We both stared at the house, lights on, front door slightly open, and then her phone buzzed. She looked down, and for the first time since all of this started, she didn't look in control anymore. Leia stared at her phone like it had just betrayed her. Her face didn't drop all at once. It tightened slowly, controlled. "What is it?" I asked. She didn't answer. Just turned the screen toward me. A message from the husband. "We need to talk now." Another one followed. "Police are on their way." Leia inhaled sharply. Not panic. Not yet. Just disruption. I stepped out of the car first. Calm. Measured. This part mattered. "You told them," she said behind me. I turned back. "I told the truth." She shook her head, almost impressed. "You always do that. And you always think you can outsmart everyone," I said. For a second, neither of us moved. Then headlights washed over the driveway. A second car, then another. Leia didn't run. That's the thing about her. She never ran. She just stood there watching as everything she built started collapsing in real time. The front door opened wider. The wife stepped out. Same face, same build. But the difference was clear now. One of them belonged in that life. The other didn't. Officers moved in. Calm, direct. Questions started. Phones taken, names checked. Leia finally looked at me again, not angry, not even surprised. Just quiet. "You ruined it," she said. I shook my head. "No," I replied. "I stopped it." She held my gaze for a moment longer, then looked away. And just like that, it was over. Not dramatic, not loud, just finished. Because sometimes the only thing that separates a life from a lie is one person who refuses to stay silent.